Well, thank you so much, everybody, for taking some time for us today. It is about 1 minute till the top of the hour, so we will give the non-Gold Star students like yourself another couple minutes to get signed in, and then we'll get off and running. So before I get too deep into my song and dance, though, we've got a very special guest with us today. And Allie, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Spend some time with us learning about all the exciting things that are happening at MGT. My name is Ali Essian. I'm the head of our partnership success team. And we just look forward to working with you closely. Let us know how we can help support you. Thanks, Dan.
Absolutely. Yes. And that really to me is one of my favorite things to share about MGT, which is that you do have a whole team here to support you. You've got Allie and I on the call with you today, but there is a pretty big at this point team that is just waiting to find ways to help you. So let me go ahead and jump in. My name, by the way, is Dan, and I'm the partner activation lead here at MGT. So, especially for those of you who are a little newer to working with us, I will be your main resource. If you need any assistance, some guidance, just want to talk shop, you can always feel welcome to reach out. Now, as we go through our webinar today, there is a button you can see probably around here on your screen. That's the chat button. There's also a Q&A button, which is a little bit to the right of that. Please feel welcome to use those to ask any questions as we go through, and we'll be happy to answer those for you as we go. We'll talk a little bit about MGT, who we are, what we do. We'll run through a demo of the platform so you can see the next generation of insurance in action. And then we'll talk about a couple more things and then wrap up with a Q&A. So don't feel like you have to save your questions, but if you do have any questions at the end, we'll take some time and answer those with you too. So let me go ahead. I will share my screen with you so that we're all looking at the same thing. So with MGT, the era of Neo Insurance has arrived. What is Neo Insurance? I can almost hear you asking yourselves. Well, to understand that term, you can kind of think about us in the context of the wider industry. You've got the traditional or legacy insurance carriers. Some of these companies have been around and have been helping protect people's livelihoods and homes for the last, 400 years. It's incredible, an incredible legacy that we hope to kind of continue on into the next generation. But despite all the great things these companies have done, as they've grown and as they've evolved over the years, top of mind has not always been speed and ease of doing business and just making things easier to accomplish. Um, you have had over the last maybe 20 to 30 years, different insure techs starting to grow up. They tend to be MGAs, MGUs, fronting companies, sometimes wholesale operations, and they exist to put a nice layer of tech on top of that legacy experience. But because of their organizational setup, they often don't have full control over the process. Where MGT is different and why we are a neo insurer is because we're really built from the ground up using modern technology to deliver a great experience to everybody. And because we are the carrier, that puts us in something of a unique position too, where we control the entire process from deciding on appetite and setting rates all the way out to adjusting claims. Couple quick points on MGT. We are rated A minus by AM Best, so we've got excellent financial strength, and we're writing all of our policies on 100% ISO BOP forms. Because of that, you can feel good that if there ever is a claim, we will have the financial strength to ensure that claim is paid out. And also, that policy will respond the way you expect it to because it's written on the most legally tested forms on the market. Working with us is a 100% digital experience. You'll never have to touch an Accord form. We're not going to come back and ask you to do 45 pages of supplemental applications. There's no 3 weeks of back and forth on an account to get things firmed up. Our job is to get you a quote, over 80% of the time, we're able to return a quote and actually get that bound in 3 minutes or less. And all quotes through the platform are fully bindable. And for anyone on the in 44 states and Washington, D.C., with more on the way. So a couple quick points here, and you can see these on your screen. My favorite one to share, though, is that in the fourth quarter last year, we had 100% uptime. That means 100% of the time somebody needed to access our platform to quote, bind, issue, service, renew, an account, they were able to. 100% of the time where a policyholder needed to make a payment, update their payment card on file a claim, see what's going on with that claim, it was up and it was ready and it was consistent to just deliver that stability that is really the reason a lot of people need insurance. As far as our appetite, we do have a pretty broad appetite for small businesses. We are writing somewhere around 300 classes of business. We just added Artisan Contractor appetite, which we're really excited for. We'll also write professional and medical offices. We do a lot of retail stores, wholesalers and distributors, beauty parlors, barbershops, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, restaurants, convenience stores, all the small businesses that keep their local economies running are generally a great fit with us. We are writing up to 3 million in revenue for most risks, up to 5 million in revenue for office risks. We'll write 1 to 100 employees, up to 35,000 square feet, and up to $2 million total insured value per location, up to 4 locations per policy. We do write new ventures. We write businesses with no prior coverage, coverage lapses, claims history can be eligible. So don't think about us only for the most perfect, nice, easiest, least hairy accounts that land on your desk. Send those our way too. We would love to take a shot at them. But if you've got something that is maybe a little bit hairier than the most perfect account that an underwriter's ever seen, you can still send that to us, and hopefully we'll be able to help with that too. Now, a lot of times when I start to talk about our coverage, I fall into the trap of saying we write just a BOP. We do a lot more than just a BOP, though. There are several coverages available that you can add on. Not going to go through and list out each one point by point. But again, invitation to use the chat or the Q&A feature. If there's anything in here anybody wants to dig into more, happy to do that. We also have some optional coverages and sublimits that are available to you. And the great part about the way our platform is set up is as we are setting these optional coverages and sublimits, the platform will only show you bindable options. So you can always feel comfortable and confident that you can stand by a quote that you produced with MGT. We do have available for restaurants a enhancement endorsement that adds a lot of great coverage for them. They can get higher limits for spoilage and food contamination. If they're doing any valet operations, they can get some coverage for damage to customers' autos, some different stock protection, and of course, higher non-owned auto is very, very exciting to be able to offer. They just can't do any self-delivery. For contractors, we also have coverage enhancement built out, and that can add some coverage for things like tools and equipment. It can add coverage for their installation, higher non-owned auto, also available for contractors. And so now let's see how it all works. So before I jump into the platform itself, I always like to start our journey here on our website. And I would suggest if you haven't had a chance to take a look at this, fire it up and click on BOP Appetite there at the top. That'll take you to a coverage map so you can see all the states that we're working in and where we plan to roll out. You can also converse with our AI appetite assistant, Amy. Amy's available to you 24/7, and her one job, her one goal in life is to be able to answer appetite questions for you. So you could ask, do you write barbecue restaurants in Texas? And Amy is smart enough to know our appetite, not just on a class code level, not even just on a state level, but she can kind of dig in. If you had, say, a barber shop that sells bourbon, you could ask things like that. So this is a great resource to be able to just answer a lot of those quick, can they do X, can they do Y kind of questions, and you don't even have to log in to get here. You can also download our appetite guide. And our appetite is going to be expanding very fast this year. That's why I recommend bookmarking this page. That way you'll have all the most up-to-date information available to you anytime you need to reference it. You'll also see here on the bottom right part of the screen, there's a little chat bubble. You can use this to instant message back and forth with our support team. It's available anytime you're on our website, whether it's the public-facing website we're looking at now, or whether it's the platform we'll look at in just a second. So anytime you need some extra help, we're here for you by phone, by email, or by instant message, however you like to work. So we'll click sign in, and then that'll take us into the platform. Once we're in, you've got quick start links here where you can begin a quote, you can add new users to your team, and you can go reference that appetite guide. Along the sidebar, you'll see we've got sections for policies. You can also manage quotes that you and your team have been working on. And then again, you've got that user management page. To start a quote out, the very first thing we'll do is put in the business name, and I'll just run a Smoothie King in the DTC area, which is where our office is based. We'll click continue. And what's happening behind the scenes now is actually really impressive. We are contacting hundreds of different data vendors. We're getting somewhere around 3,900 different data points on this business. We're using this to pre-qualify and even pre-fill a lot of the answers on this application. So you can see here it actually correctly selected the class code, juice bar, and then we are going to quote a business owner's policy for this risk. So it's starting to put together that quote. This is where a lot of that pre-fill is happening. And you can see here pretty fast. First couple questions are always going to be the same. Are there any claims and do we need to add building coverage? For this one, we'll say no claims and just BPP only, keeping it nice and easy for the demo. We'll click continue. It's got the fast food, fast casual style. I think that sounds like a great fit for a Smoothie King. So we'll click continue. And then you'll see a lot of these questions are pre-filled. It knows that Smoothie King is a franchise. There's no wait staff, no cooking at customer tables, no alcohol sales, not operating out of a hotel or apartment building. So you can change any of these as we go through. The great thing about the platform is we're using the tools of technology to make things easier for you. We're not locking you in to the algorithms. Nobody knows the risk better than you. And if something looks a little off, you can always go in and change that. So we'll click continue here. I'll say, let's just say we know this business really well. They actually started out in 2022. Everything else looks right. So we'll click continue again. And it's finding that they host some kind of special event at least once a year. We are able to include special events coverage, including host liquor liability, for our BOP policyholders. So let's go ahead. We'll add in some special events coverage for this. It's finding their revenue. We'll write up to 3 million in revenue for this kind of risk. So this one should be a really good fit with us. We'll click continue again. And now behind the scenes, it's doing some more research. It's finding some more information about that business, and it's getting all that loaded up. This process can take a moment or two. Sorry, a moment or two. We can add any additional insureds in this page while we wait for it. I think in this case, we don't really need to. And now it's done thinking, so we'll click continue. So again, you can see by this bar here that's going to kind of like change its colors and go along the spectrum for us. It's doing some thinking again. It's finding more details on that property. This will pre-fill these questions for us in just a moment. It's actually really neat what it can do. It can find things like the construction type. It actually can look up that building on Google Maps and trace out its footprint and then use that to calculate out the square footage. So it does, a lot of things that you would have to spend time doing, and then our underwriting team would have to spend time verifying they were done correctly. It's just all automatic, so we can focus on the more interesting things that come our way. So you can see here, it looks like the Smoothie King is actually in a shopping center, and so it found the footprint of that entire shopping center and applied it. That's why I like to say as you go through, trust but verify. In this case, I think it's probably closer to 1250. So we'll update that. We'll update their BPP limit from 100,000 to 25,000, and then we'll click continue. Actually, and let's say there's no automatic sprinklers. We'll click continue. In this section, we can add any new locations. So we'll click continue through there. We'll choose to keep the TRIA on, and that is the last decision we have to make in getting this quote set up. Now it is going to qualify that risk and then rate that risk for us, and we should have a bindable quote back here in just a couple seconds. So I am sure everybody on this call has seen a million different pages that look a lot like this. So we won't spend too much time here. I will just reiterate though, anytime you go through and update these sublimits, you'll only see bindable options in the platform. Always recommend scrolling through here. You can see and, really fine tune some of these coverages. Scroll all the way down, and then you can add some other great coverages like employment practices liability, employment benefits liability. You can add some damage to premises rented to you. Let's just say we've got a landlord who's requiring higher limits on that, maybe up to 1 million in damage to premises rented to you. And so you can see we're going to make that change, and then we get an instant pricing indication back, and we'll update that quote to lock in that change. So now we've got our quote back. Everything's looking great. We'll click continue to bind. And then next step is we'll enter in the policyholder's contact info. So let's do my friend Dan Smoothie, 720-802. And so we'll just enter in their contact info and click send to insured. Now in my inbox in probably about 10 seconds here, I should have that email waiting for me. But if you're working with somebody who maybe doesn't receive that email, or maybe they're just not the most, technologically savvy person, you can click copy share link, and that will copy the payment link for you. From there, I'll open up a new tab so you can see what this looks like. Just select annual, quarterly, or monthly payments, and then click continue. You'll see the total due today if their installment selected, and then everything's going to get loaded up to e-sign. So this will just take a moment. We'll give it the squiggle and then the initial squiggle, agree to e-signing, and then you can click start signing and go through and review every page, or you can click sign all and just knock it all out in one click of a button. So once everything's set up for e-signing, the next step is making payment, and we should see that here in just a moment. All those e-sign documents are available to the policyholder and to you as well, so everyone will have them for their records if they need them. Now, in my demo system, sometimes it does this where it kind of takes me in a loop here. This is not happening in the real live version that you'll be working with. But the next step's pretty straightforward. You just enter in payment information, and as soon as that payment goes through, the policy's bound and issued. Now, if we jump back into the platform, you can see this is actually updating for us along the way as we go. So it helps you stay in touch with what's happening on that policy after you've sent out that payment link. So it always takes a little bit longer with me narrating along the way. I want to say though that we went from start to finish on that one in probably about 7 minutes. So I think anyone on this call you should probably be able to do it even faster than that, especially once you get one or two of these under your belt. And what we really hope that does is gives you time back in your day to work with these small business clients, help protect those businesses in your community, keep those referral sources happy, build those strong relationships, but have time in your day to do all the other important things that come your way too. So if there are any questions, please feel welcome to ask those either chat or Q&A. We will be happy to answer those. But other than that, we'll give you some time back in your day. I think we had 30 minutes together, and we really appreciate you taking that time for us. I would say this is probably one of my favorite 30-minute blocks during the week. This is where we get to connect with the agents who are really interested in learning more about MGT, who want to work with MGT. We just could not be happier to be here with you. So, thank you too, John. We appreciate you showing up with us today.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. We look forward to working with you.
Yes. So if you enjoyed the show, please jump in, run a quote, and we'd love to get your feedback too. We know we're not going to build the best insurance company in the world on our own. It's really going to come through the feedback that you and folks like you who are actually in there working on the platform, talking to the policyholders have, because we want to design this to be the best tool in your toolbox. So thank you again, everybody. You'll be hearing from us soon, I'm sure. And until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and thanks again for working with MGT.
Thank you. Bye.